In an increasingly hectic world where materialism seems to reign, there was a man trapped in his daily routines. He chased after success, money, and recognition. But in the silence of the night, when all the lights were out and loneliness filled his room, he felt a deep emptiness, a sense that something was missing. Then, one day, consumed by a restlessness he could no longer ignore, he decided to begin a journey, a search for the true meaning of life, for the path to spirituality. At first, his journey was lonely and confusing. He wondered where to search, how to find what his soul longed for. He visited churches, temples, listened to sages, and read books. But no matter how much knowledge he gained, something still eluded him. It was as if the answers he sought weren't in the outside world, but somewhere deep within himself. Yet, he didn't know how to access them. One night, sitting in his dark room, tired of searching outside, he closed his eyes and simply let himself be. It was then, in the profound silence, that he heard something different. Not an audible voice, but a whisper within his soul. It told him to look inward, to get to know himself, to understand his fears, his shadows, and most importantly, his light. Days passed, and he began to practice this inner silence. It wasn't easy. Sometimes he was confronted by painful memories, by traumas he preferred to forget, but he knew that to move forward, he would have to face all of this. Spirituality, he realized, was not an escape from the world, but a way to understand it in its depth. It was the courage to confront oneself, to see oneself fully. As time went by, he felt a slight change within him. The things that used to bother him, the everyday worries, seemed to lose their importance. He became less interested in the material and more in the eternal. Compassion grew in his heart, and he began to see others not as obstacles in his life, but as fellow travelers, all equally seeking meaning, a greater connection. One morning, while watching the sunrise, he felt something he had never felt before, a deep peace. It wasn't the absence of problems, but the certainty that everything was as it should be. He understood then that the path to spirituality was not a destination to be reached, but a continuous journey of growth and transformation. This journey, he realized, is unique for every human being. There are no definitive maps or guides. Some may find it in service to others, some in the contemplation of nature, and others in the study of great spiritual truths. But above all, it is a sincere quest, where the traveler must be willing to let go of their certainties to embrace the mystery. And so, he continued, no longer concerned with the answers, but with the beauty of the search itself. He knew that with each step taken in sincerity, the universe would guide him. He knew that true spirituality was not something one could possess or define, but a path of love, humility, and connection to the divine that exists in all things. In the end, he understood that spirituality wasn't a goal, but the journey itself. And with that realization, the emptiness inside him transformed, no longer a void but a deep presence, filling his soul and showing him that life, in its essence, had always been and would always be sacred.